Hi, Ben Johnson here to record the fifth day of our Excel class. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a mail merge between Excel and Word, which is a really useful skill to have if you ever need to do custom form letters or print labels or envelopes or make a catalog. So the first thing is that you need a good spreadsheet in Excel, so I'll just go back to our website. So remember, you can download this at bit.ly/psdexcel. It'll take you to our Google site where you can find the Drills 2000 Part 1. Just go ahead and download, save those, and then open them up. And then once Excel launches, go ahead and enable editing up here. You may need to advance down at the bottom with this green arrow to the movie spreadsheet. And again, scroll to the left and up to the top. So the very first step of doing a mail merge with Excel and Word is to have a good spreadsheet with headings across that first row, and then no blanks, no blank columns and or rows like that. So you should end up with something that looks like this. This example isn't great because we have first and last name together, so that could be a problem. But for the sake of this demo, we'll just live with it. So that's the first step. Get that. Save it somewhere where you can find it easily. So I'll just do a save as and make sure that I put it in our Excel folder, and that way I can find it easily. I might even say for Mailmerge. Okay. All right. So then the next step after you have the spreadsheet designed and saved is to go ahead and open up Word. And I know this isn't a Word class, but both programs rely on each other, so it's one of those chicken or the egg kind of questions. So let's go ahead and go to mailings and start mail merge, but you want to pick the mail merge wizard step by step. You can do it manually on your own, but I do prefer to use the mail merge wizard. Just helps step me through the process, especially if you don't do it every day. Okay, so the very first question, do you want to make letters, an email message, envelopes, labels, a directory? Typically I see people usually doing letters and labels, but email messages are very handy. You'll need to have Outlook installed on your computer if you want to do email messages. Nice paper saving functionality there. Envelopes, of course, you all know that. A directory, people wonder about a directory. A directory is basically, it's a lot like doing a letter, except for instead of putting a page break between each item, it just prints them all together. So I don't see people use that as often, but realize that it's there if you'd like it. So I'll just do a letter here. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll do labels because they're the trickiest. If you know how to do labels, you can do any of the others. So I'll do labels. I'll do next starting document. Then you have to pick your label options, and this is where you'll need to get out your box of labels and pick those out. So I'll just do an Avery label, and I don't know. I was going to try to just pick a common one. I'll do the self-adhesive name badges 5395, but you'd want to look at the box of labels that you have and go ahead and select that, and I'll hit OK. All right, that step you wouldn't do if you were doing letters. Okay, next select your recipients, and that's where you browse for the Excel spreadsheet that you just made. And again, I have mine in my Excel folder and I named it Mailmerge. If there are many sheets on it, it's going to ask you to pick the sheet that you're pulling from. In our case, it's the movie spreadsheet. Okay. At this point, if you didn't want to make a label for everybody, you could just uncheck those people that you don't want labels for. You can sort, you can filter this, so maybe you only wanted to make labels for the dramas. You could filter those out so that you're not printing a label for everything. Once you've, and also the sorting part, if the labels want to be in alphabetical order by last name or something like that, you'll definitely want to use that sorting feature. I'm just going to make one for everybody, so I'll just hit OK here. And you can see that it puts this next record in, and this is really the only difference between labels and a form letter. They won't have that next record, so it'll look, that's the only thing that'll look slightly different here. So I'll arrange my labels, and if the headings matched a traditional address book or something like that, you could use that, but typically I'll just go right to this more items, and then you just pick everything you want to put on that label or form letter or whatever it is that you're printing, and you just hit insert, and I'll do the next thing, insert, 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 and then I'll close that. Now if you want these to appear on separate lines, you just go ahead and add a hard return in between the less than and greater than signs that are put there. Now if you'd like a description in front of them, you just go ahead and type that in. Otherwise it will just show the actual name, and if it's self-explanatory, that's okay, but often you'll need to add your own heading in front of the data that's being pulled. Now if you were doing a form letter instead of a label, at this point you would be typing the body of the letter, and then you would just use the data that you're pulling within, and that's just going to pull the student's name or the grade level into your form letter. Now in addition to typing your own headings here, you can change the formatting also at this point. It's going to be more efficient to change it here once on this master than on all of the others manually, so change whatever headings you want to change with whatever formatting you want. Now the another difference on labels is that you need to update all the labels. You won't see this button on the form letters, but on labels you'll see that. You just click that and it just pulls that in. Then you can preview your labels, or in the case of a letter, you would preview the letter, and then it just shows up like that. If you're not satisfied with it, you just go back to the previous, change whatever formatting you'd like to change or typing you want to change, update all the labels again, preview them again, make sure that you're satisfied with that. Then if you had more than one page, you can scroll through the pages just to check things out, and with labels being so expensive, it's not a bad idea to have a look through, make sure they all look good. Then I can complete the merge here, and if I'm ready, I can put my labels in the printer now and hit print. Or what I prefer to do is actually edit the individual labels, and that's just going to create a new Word doc that's sort of an uneditable one in terms of making changes easily. So I'll just hit this edit individual labels, and I'll do all. And you can almost think of this more like almost like a PDF copy, I guess, where you're not really going to want to make any formatting changes to this, but you could then send and email this to other people, or keep this in your folder to reuse it. I might actually print a hard copy of this to make sure it's all good. May even hold that hard copy up to a window with my labels to make sure they're all going to fit properly before I waste a bunch of labels. Then I could just save this copy into my Excel folder that I've made, and I'll just say sort of a copy of labels for printing. Okay, and then I can close this. I could open it and print them whenever. Now this actual Mailmerge, I could save this and reuse it in subsequent years. So again, I could just go ahead and put that in my Excel folder, and this one I might call it like Mailmerge master, and this would be I would open this back up so that in a future year I could go back to these previous steps, make whatever changes I'd like to make, and then update those labels. or select a different list of people, so that I don't have to go through the whole mail merge process again, although in this case it was really easy to do, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal to have to start all over. So that's how you make a mail merge. Letters are not much different. It's just that you won't have to hit that update all labels button. Otherwise it's going to work just about the same.